Was your Tyler's back with the long-awaited open season movies review. So we're gonna do all three of the open season movies. We're gonna start with the first one, and tomorrow we're gonna do the sequel. So we're gonna get to that. So here in the United States, the release date was September 29th, 2006. 2006. Year that Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island was released. This movie had a tie-in game also, which I'll probably do someday. And some other games like, SCR-07, SpongeBob Creatures of the Krusty Krab. I almost forgot about that. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but yeah, there were a lot of big games that came out around this time, and boy. I mean, now, today, we got a SpongeBob game came out and 2 wrestling games that came out. Now there's going to be another Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl game coming out. So I'll get that and review that probably this fall. But anyways, open season, this was a really fun movie to go back to. And let's talk about these. So anyways, in the small town of Timberline, a grizzly bear named Boog enjoys captivating but primary excitement and spends his day as the star attraction of the town's nature show while a night lives in the garage of park ranger Beth, who has risen Boog since he was a cub. One day, the hunting phase Shaw, we will not see him again until a Halloween spinoff, which I'll probably do in October, by the way, drives into the timberline with one antlered deer named Elliot. Stops to the hood in his truck, and Boog frees Elliot, who becomes comforted that they are friends. This is kind of like Shrek and Donkey, by the way. They were not friends in the beginning, but then they became friends later on in the movies. So that's a little comparison's sake. That they are friends. That night, Elliot finds Boog and confirms him to go out. The two end up raiding a convenience store, and they just went out, basically. The best part about it was Boog saying, "Hello, idiot, it's Elliot." That's kind of funny. But they end up... Elliot escapes, but Boog is caught by Beth's friend Gordy, the town's sheriff, who returns Boog to Beth and tells her that Boog flees instead, maybe coming to him, and it may be about time to release Boog into the wild. The next morning, Elliot is chased by Shaw, and goes to Boog for help at the nature show. And, Elliot goes into a panic. Beth shoots both animals with a tranquilizer gun just before Shaw fires his own gun to flee before Gordy can arrest him. Talking Gordy's advantage, Beth takes Gordy's word and retrieve him and Elliot into the Timberline Natural Forest 2 days before open season. But they are revolt about the waterfalls, above the waterfalls, when they will be legitimately safe from the hunters. And then, lurking outdoor survival skills, Boog takes Elliot as a guide to get him back home to reunite with Beth. The encounter undercover forest animals, including the Scottish squirrel McSquizzy. And yeah, if you play the open season games, "Oi, hunters! You mess with Boog, you mess with me." Something like that. I'll talk about that some point. Maybe after... I won't spoil it. And thrilled a loyal gang of fellow acorn throwers squirrels before Riley and his confirmed working team with Elliot's heard that, including Ian, the leader, and the Giselle, a doll that Elliot is in love with, which we'll get to that in the next movie. They get married in the next movie. Well, at the end, well, spoiler alert. This is like a long time. That's like a 14 years ago. Yeah. That second movie was that Elliot is in love with. It reveals that Ian bashes Elliot from the herd for being a loser. Eventually, Boog and Elliot, too smart to board after realize they are both outcasts, and Boog consider learning Elliot stay with him when they got back. The next day, Elliot attempts to lead Boog out to the forest, but it became evidence he has no clue where they are going. Basically, they went to the Beaver's Dam. And Boog says, "We're going around in circles." Basically, Shaw shut the tree. And Shaw attempts to destroy Riley's dam. The two are confronted by Shaw and accidentally destroy Riley's dam, trying to get away. Currently a fish food which sends the animals and Shaw pulling down the waterfall. Well, into the hunting grounds. At first, everyone blames Boog for setting them into the hunting grounds, who then accuse Elliot for lying to him. Knowing the way home, Elliot admits he thought that Boog spent time with him would befriended him. Boog angry storms off, but underwhelming ends up in Shaw's cabin. Yep. Where he discovered by Shaw, Boog escaped nearly the road leading back to Timberline instead of returning home. Boog returns to the woods, recover with Elliot, and rally the animals and defeat them and defend themselves. They savagely supply from an RV owned by a couple named Bob and Bobby, who are looking for Bigfoot, while their pet ditches them. Mr. Weenie joins the forest animals. And we know what happens in the next movie. The next day, Boog leads a revolution against the hunters, ending with they all beat the heck out of the fucking hunters. Like, yeah. And with the leader or group running after Miss Squizzy blows up their trucks with a propane tank ignited by an energy field. Shaw returns for a final showdown, which that was the last level in the game, by the way. Shaw's showdown. With Boog. Before Shaw can shoot Boog, Elliot throws himself into between them and takes the shot. Primarily, Boog fiercely confronts Shaw and ties him up with his own gun. Lorraine, by the way. Boog rushes Elliot, who survives with a second broken antler. The forest animals thank Boog for his help and takes out their vengeance on Shaw, smothering him with honey and pillows feathers, setting him fleeing into the woods before Beth later returns in a helicopter to take Boog back home, but he ultimately decided to stay in the forest with Beth's blessing, and that's how it ends. So Boog becomes a forest bear. And then mid-credits, Shaw is captured by Bob and Bobby, who mistakenly him for Bigfoot. Like I said before, we'll say that for the next movie. So yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow, by the way. I give it an A. Yes. So yeah, like I said before, this is gonna be our next review tomorrow. Open Season 2. So that's next on the list. So anyways, like this, comment, and subscribe to both my channels in there. Bye. And like I said before, Thursday on my secondary channel, Payback 2013. Bye.